Welcome everyone to episode 461 of the Daily Mother Swole. Gained of. I am your host, Gained of. And I think Swallow Bagains is coming. What up? What up to 461?
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
What's up, everyone? Let me get this creepiness out of the way. Did you like that? Did you like that weird game off? I know you did. I know you did. Remember when I used to do that? I can't do the number of the show. I can't do the number in the corner anymore, so I gotta find a new thing to do. So I'm gonna be going back to those old the weird faces. Welcome everyone to episode 461 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all drink our coffee. And we flex our biceps. Welcome. What's going on, Baz? What's up, Mike? What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining me live every day at 12 noon Eastern Time right here on the Facebook. Remember, you can catch every episode also on YouTube, so check me out at Swolenormous. And also, you can listen to the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. And if you have not yet, make sure you're following me also on Instagram, and follow me on Instagram stories, because it is going down on the IG stories, all the updates, all the latest, a lot of recaps from the Daily Swole, and a lot of little nukes and tidbits that are absolutely fire. So follow me on Instagram as well. Big day today. It is Thursday. Remember, tonight is the shoulder workshop. So howdy everyone. And remember that tonight is the shoulder workshop, 8 p.m. in Premium. The link is in the post description, premium.swolenormous.com. Going to do all about the shoulder. Today we're talking about the triple shoulder threat, the triple threat for the shoulder, and this is going to ramp right into tonight's workshop. So I'm excited. I'm going to be doing demonstrations for all the exercise. I'm going to go over, let's just kind of recap and kind of go over a little bit more about what's going to happen tonight in the workshop, in case you are new to this program, unless you're new to the Daily Sleazy. If you're new, welcome. Float some hearts and float some thumbs, and leave a comment if you're new. I want to know how many people are first timers here, and make sure also that you share and like this broadcast. So yeah, this beard's getting crazy, and I'm not grooming it on purpose. I'm just letting it go wild. It's like, why? You can't maintain this. You can't even hope to corral this. Like, why even bother? So tonight, let's go over a little bit about what you can expect tonight. So those of you that are in Premium, those of you that are planning on signing up for the workshop tonight, going to be going over some mobility exercises, some activation exercises, and some stretching, some things everything you can do at home. Everything you do at home. And what I have access to here, I'm going to be using a bench, things you can do on the ground, but I'm going to do the workshop at a different location so I can utilize some of the equipment, some of the tools to show you a little bit more variety, in case that you want to grab a band and anchor it to a door, the top of a door. You have a pull-up bar, you have a little home gym. I'm going to show a couple different things that you can do also in a gym. So I want to do a couple home examples, a couple things you could do if you have some basic equipment at home, and some things you could do when you're at the gym. So, but everything you can do will be at home. It'll all be able to be done at home, which is the most important thing, because I want this shoulder workshop to be really progressive. I want it to be something where anyone can start seeing progress immediately. And these are things like stretches and some things without weight that you're gonna be able to do immediately. So tonight, I'll be able to demonstrate, and you'll be able to do it along with me, and we can discuss, and I can, it's very interactive. The workshop's bottom line, very interactive, where I'm demonstrating, I'm answering questions, I'm looking at the camera. So it's like this, but it's a little bit more, it's chill. It's not, there's not as much rage. There's not as much like grunting, and there's not as much coffee and caffeine because it's at night, but it's definitely gonna be it's very educational, very informative, and it's very hands-on interactive. So it's a lot of applicable stuff, and I want it to be things that you can implement right away, like every day as part of your warm-up, or specifically as a part of your shoulder workout. Because one of the main things that everyone's lacking with shoulder work is the mobility, is the range of motion. And that's going to affect where you actually target your muscles. So if you're trying to hit the shoulder, you're going to be limited in targeting certain parts of the shoulder if you don't have the mobility. And what I mean by mobility, I mean proper activation and proper inhibition. So if you have certain muscles that are too turned on, if you have certain muscles that are too activated, that are firing too much, it's going to inhibit the opposing muscles. So if you have your anterior deltoid and your pectoralis that are firing too much and pulling the shoulders too much forward, it's going to neurally inhibit your ability to activate the muscles on the back. It's going to affect your ability to hit the posterior deltoid and hit the rhomboids and hit the middle and lower trapezius. And it's one of those things that's very interesting because it's not so much that, I want to hit the rhomboids. I think I'll hit the lower traps today. It's not that simple. Just because you want to hit that muscle, just because you're trying to focus on, okay, I'm gonna have better form today, doesn't mean your body is going to allow you to have better form. And I think that's where there's a disconnect as well. You think because you're just going to start doing some corrective exercise that you're actually gonna be able to. Your body still has to make that connection with that muscle. So if you have a lot of overactivity, so let me just bring this phone down a little bit so you can see. Okay, if you have a lot of overactivity in the front of your shoulder and your chest, right, and you're rounded forward, it's going to inhibit all the muscles on the back. It's going to inhibit the posterior deltoid. It's going to inhibit the lower trapezius, which I can't reach, and the lower traps. So it's going to inhibit your ability to pull them back and to externally rotate the shoulder and also pull the scapula down. So you're getting locked up. You're going to get locked up if you have that imbalance. Now, simply going and being like, oh, I think I'm going to hit those muscles today with some corrective exercise. So you start doing, you start doing some of the exercise I'm going to show you later, blah, 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 right? They don't fire right away. They don't fire right away because it's a combination of activating those weaker muscles, but also inhibiting and shutting down the ones that are working too hard. So we had that seesaw, and you've seen I used to, I've been drawing that seesaw and that balance effect on the whiteboard for weeks. If you have muscles that are too activated and too fired, right, too turned on, in retrospect, on the other end of that balance, you're gonna have muscles that aren't turned on enough, that aren't activated enough. So we have to create that even playing field. So we are resetting and reteaching. So in order to come at the shoulders with a triple threat, which I say is mobility, functionality, and strength, you could also look at it as anterior, medial, and posterior deltoid. So triple threat, I like to approach the shoulder with mobility, which means foam rolling, stretching, basic mobility exercise, which I'm going to demonstrate, basic mobility warm-ups. And that's part of the core warm-up where I'm going to show you some specific movements that you can use at home. You can do it on the floor if you have a ground. If you have a floor, you could do these exercises to open up the shoulder. Now, these are things that are great every day. These are things that are great before any kind of upper body workout. It's great specifically before, chest, back, and shoulder training, particularly. So it has to become a part of your routine. The inhibition, the shutting down, and the strengthening, the activating have to both marry and have to become part of your overall routine. You can't just do one or the other. And it's that part that's the retraining. Not only are you trying to activate and strengthen, you are actively inhibiting the ones that are firing too much. You're teaching your body, don't do that, do this. Don't do that, do this. Now don't do that and do this, but do it together. So shut that down, activate this. Shut that down, activate this. And it's that combination that's super important that we have to pound into your body's brain in order to make sure that that happens during a bigger movement. So it's interesting when we slow it down. When we slow it down on the show and I talk about it, it's interesting when we slow it down and talk about it for the workshop, because you could do that. Let's say you master that. Well, you've taught your body to shut down the muscles that are working too much and to activate the muscles that aren't working enough. But then can you have that balance? Can you have that neural balance during heavier movements? Can you have that neural balance during an overhead press? Can you have that when you're doing your bench press? Can you have that when you're doing your back row? Can you have that when you're doing your deadlift? And that's the part of the retraining. So we have to go step by step. We inhibit and we activate these muscles and create the balance. And then you still have to teach the body to do those things, to have those proper muscles working and not working during those heavier movements, because it's very easy. And I'm telling you, it's very easy. You could just go and do run-of-the-mill corrective exercises, look them up on Google and be like, yeah, I'm just going to do these corrective exercises and feel better. But then all of a sudden you go back to your bench press, you go to your lat pull down, and your body goes right back to the way it was, forgetting all those corrective exercise movements. So the old habits die hard. They really die hard. And to come at the shoulder with that triple threat, with the mobility, the functionality, and the strength, it's that those three parts. And you can add that inhibition in there too with the mobility. It's all about teaching the body how it's supposed to move, the range of motion it's supposed to have with the shoulder, teaching it which muscles need to be strengthened and teaching it functional strength, and also teaching it actual, muscular strength. So it's those three parts, as well as I like to use a triple threat because you have the anterior, medial, and posterior heads of the deltoid that kind of give you that 3D appeal. So we talk about the 3D in a couple different ways. So the shoulder triple threat will allow you to hit all three parts of the shoulder. That shoulder triple threat, mobility, functionality, and strength will also allow you to hit the anterior, medial, and posterior heads of the deltoid. So you want a well-rounded shoulder. You don't want to be internally rotated. You don't want to be walking around like one of those, fucking bodybuilding goons. You don't want to because you don't need to. It's completely unnecessary. So all these workshops, all these episodes, all this work is designed to give you that proper information, but also give you the tools to apply that today, to apply that now. So tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, like I said, going to be casual, going to be interactive. It's going to be an amazing shoulder workshop. The link is in the description. Premium.swolenormous.com. You get instant access to all the previous workshops. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I'm telling you, if you've ever had a shoulder injury, if you have a shoulder imbalance, if you have a physique and aesthetic imbalance that you don't like the way your shoulders look, if you're having trouble with strength, improving strength with your chest or with your back exercise, if you kind of hit that strength plateau, this is for you. This is honestly for you. This is what you need to look at, because if you're getting constantly injured, you have constant pain or any of these things, it's something that needs to be addressed now so it doesn't become a problem later. And no one wants to do things now for later. Everyone wants to do things now for now, right? When you're watching this, when you're doing fitness, you want to do things now that give you results now. And we all do. It's nice to have results now. But with fitness, you'll never get results now. It's all about what can you do now for later. And a lot of this stuff is, intangible. You don't see results like, wow, I feel amazing. Like you could feel a lot of, pressure go away. You can feel a lot of like imbalances and a lot of like, if there's a lot of friction, you can feel it go away pretty quickly. But this is for the long term. This is for the long term. This is for the next, months, years, decades. This is the kind of thing that's going to set you up for much, much longer than just the next couple weeks or couple months. This is long-term foundation. This is long-term foundation to improve your shoulder integrity for all your training for the rest of your life. But you have to do it now. And yoga's part of it, and that's part of the mobility and the functionality, but the strength and all these different aspects that we're going to cover tonight are the reasons why it's important. The reason why it's important, because none of them work independently. They work codependently, they work together, they integrate with one another, and you need each one to have a successful career in fitness. And I'm not saying you're a personal trainer or you make money with your fitness career, but a career with all of your training, because if you want to be working out for the next 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, believe me, you need to take care of these things now, because your shoulder's gonna wear. And if you're wearing it with imbalance, eventually something's gonna break and something's gonna snap. And you don't need this injury. It's not an injury that you need to have. And if you do have a tweak, it can minimize those kind of risks and injuries drastically because of the mobility, because of the elasticity, because of the conditioning that you've put into the joint. So make sure you join me, us, my entire premium community tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss this. Trust me, it's gonna be fucking awesome. The best workshop yet. It's going to be in-depth, a lot of content, a lot of content. I'm gonna write it down to make sure that we hit it all. It's gonna be sick. Tonight, 8 p.m., premium.swolenormous.com. The link is in the description. Make sure you sign up today. Don't wait till the last minute so you get in time. You can ask all your questions. You can interact. You can do it with us. It's going to be awesome. Shoulder workshop tonight, 8 p.m. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 461. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it. What's up, Dennis? Thanks for joining me live every day at 12 noon Eastern time. Remember, all these episodes you can catch on my YouTube channel at Swolenormous, and also listen to the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Also, make sure you're following me on Instagram, going down on Instagram and Instagram stories. Follow me over there, say what's up, and I'll see everyone tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose. Flex me if you got them. We all flex our biceps on the daily, mother swole. I'll see you all tomorrow for episode 462. Later.